and whatnot. Like, you don't need to apologize for expressing yourself. Like, again, you're here to claim your space. Take up that space. It's meant for you. Please, please, please stop apologizing. You matter. Your feelings matter. What you want matters. All of that matters. There's no need to apologize for being you, authentically you. If you're an emotional person, be emotional. Right? Again, this is not about being rude or any of that stuff. So I'm not saying of you being rude to people and you're not apologizing. That's not where I'm saying here. This is not the podcast for that.
To some, boundaries are just placing limits. To me, it's where the limitless things begin.
Hello, hello, hello. And thank you for tuning into the Boundaries and More podcast with Jess Abraham. I'm your host, Jess Abraham, and today's episode is brought to you by Joyful Styles. Joyful Styles is a lifestyle brand that provides premium quality apparel that promotes joy and positivity. Joyful Styles believes how we approach a situation matters, and choosing to be joyful makes all the difference. You have the power and it's time to embrace it. Let's go. Get your Joyful Styles gear at joyfulstyles.com. That's JoyfulStylez.com. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, I am super, super, super excited to get into this episode today. Man, it's been something that's been on my heart and I see it everywhere I go. The communities I'm in, just everywhere. And I know I had to bring it to the podcast. It's just how it goes, right? Right? Live life and I bring the things to the podcast. So let me tell you, today's episode is stop apologizing. Stop apologizing. Look, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to let you know. First, I'll just say this. I was going to leave this for later, but I'll say this right now. This is not about being rude to people or getting, just being in your ways or whatever. It's not about being rude at all. It's about being you, authentically you, and being part of this earth, right? As God created, being you in that. It's not about being rude. It's about being you. Just get that part. All right. So as I already kind of stated, look, God created you, right? This earth and you. He created you to take up the space, to claim your space on this earth, to do the work that you are required to do here. You belong here. There is no need to apologize for certain things that you do while you're in this earth, right? Let me just break that down a little bit more, right? So, for example, one of the things that came up recently, my wife and I, we were traveling and we were at this restaurant. I think we were in LA. We've been in a couple different places in the last couple weeks, but I believe we were in a restaurant in LA. I think it was one of the ones in LA. Anyway, so we at the restaurant and it's time to order. So we get to ordering. I ordered what I wanted because I knew exactly what I wanted. That's why we went to this particular restaurant. And then it comes to my wife ready to order. Before she even say anything about the things she actually wanted to order, the first thing she did was apologize. She's like, apologize for the complicated order or whatever she said, like something of that nature to before she even ordered. In my mind, I'm like, I actually said it out loud. I'm like, you don't need to apologize. You want what you want. So it's like, to me, my thoughts, my beliefs, like, again, we're here to take up and claim our space. And if we're at a restaurant spending our money on food, we want what we want to pay for. If we want to alter the menu that they have to suit our needs, that's fine. Do that. You don't need to apologize for that. Just prayerfully you have a waiter or waitress who is able to really catch on to what you want, like really grasp whatever it is that you're asking for, and we make that happen. Because some people are quick, oh no, we can't change this or you can't substitute that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And you're not being difficult because you want something different than what's stated on the menu. If this is a particular dish that has the chicken and all the things you want everything in that particular dish except the chicken, and it's not difficult that you want that without the chicken. Even if it's a chicken dish, it doesn't matter. Like, it's what you want. It's cater it to you, right? Like, yeah, let me tell you. I'm a firm believer. It's like, bruh, if I'm paying for, I truly and strongly believe you can have anything in the world that you want if you pay for it. I really do believe that. Like, there's no amount of money for certain situations, of course, like we can't pay for. Like, if we want certain customized whatever we want for a certain space that we have, like, we ask people, oh, my wife, oh, can you do this? Or will you be able to, like, I'm like, I tell babe, for the right amount of money, they'll make it happen. I'm just saying, I truly believe that. And I want you all to get that, right? You can take it or leave it. It's up to you. But I am telling you, for the right amount, people are willing to make things happen. That's just the world that we live in. Good, bad, and different doesn't matter. It's really the world that we live in. Also, I want to get into situations that I see, like when me personally, I'll start there. Me personally, I am naturally a questioner, right? I always ask why. Things need to make sense to me for me to move in such a way, right? I don't have a problem with moving or doing certain things, but it must make sense to me to make these things happen. Like, even if I don't know what it is necessarily, if it makes enough sense, I will operate in that space and operate off that, take action on that particular thing. So I see a lot so me, again, I have no issues with this part, what I'm getting into, but I see when it comes to people asking questions, right? They apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, but I want to ask, like, why are you apologizing? Because you want more information. Like, it's okay. Ask the questions. Don't let others who aren't doing anything or doing whatever, like, stop you from asking the questions. Like, if you need clarity for something, or if you know asking a specific question will help you move forward in whatever it is that you're doing, ask the question and don't apologize for asking the question. Like, if we weren't meant to ask the question, I'm like, okay, we're not taking any questions. This is what it is, and no questions. Please don't ask any questions, whatever. There's no disclaimer or anything like that. Ask your questions and don't apologize for asking. Like, it's okay. I promise you, it's okay. Like, something else that I've seen recently in life experiences, right? I'm in different communities and I've seen it happen in these communities, as well as this TV show me and my wife was recently watching. But I want you to know, and like, just really get this, like, sometimes when you're telling your story or something that you're passionate about, I've seen this what people are doing. What they do is that they apologize for crying. Bruh, is your feelings, which are valid, is your story. You're living, like, sometimes when people tell certain stories and things they're overcome, etc., it take them into a place that they kind of feel the feels of whatever is happening, and for them to work through that. Like, it's okay to cry and express yourself in that way. You don't need to apologize to the group, right? Like, most of the community, especially this communities I'm in, they're all like safe spaces and whatnot. Like, you don't need to apologize for expressing yourself. Like, again, you're here to claim your space. Take up that space. It's meant for you. Please, please, please stop apologizing. You matter. Your feelings matter. What you want matters. All of that matters. There's no need to apologize for being you, authentically you. If you're an emotional person, be emotional, right? Again, this is not about being rude or any of that stuff. So I'm not saying if you being rude to people and you're not apologizing. That's not where I'm saying here. This is not the podcast for that. Make sure. Ah, man, if y'all can't tell, man, this stuff is so embedded in me, in my heart. I have the heart to help people around all of these things that I discuss, because I just know how freeing it is and the amount of joy it brings me. I like to spread that and share that with everyone else and help the people that I've been helping work through some stuff to get there, because I promise you, it's so much sweeter on the other side of all these things. Like, oh man, if people get how important they are, like it, man, the world will be a different place for sure. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. So again, just because you feel an emotion, things of that sort, you don't need to apologize. Also, just because you operate a certain way that you operate and other people may or may not agree with it because it's not what they would do in certain situations, no need to apologize for that either. Like, I'm telling you, there's some things that my wife does and it gets the job done. However, when I look at it, I'd be like, man, that's definitely not the decisions I would have made. I would have did that a lot differently, more efficiently, etc. But she does what works for her, right? What comes to her mind, what worked best for the way that she see fit. And I'm like, okay with that. Most of me, like, especially recently, I literally be saying out loud to myself, like, yo, Jess, she not you. Like, she her own person, being her authentic self. And if this is the way she want to move to get the job done, as long as we get the result that we're looking for, like, hey, it gets the job done. Right? Like, again, I know many of you may have heard, the saying or just example, but 3 plus 1 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. We're still getting to the result. We're just going about it differently to get there. And that's okay. No need to apologize because people don't like a certain way that you're doing whatever, just because they would have done it differently. It's okay. Do you. Do you. And be like, it feels so much better when you're being you versus trying to be somebody else or like someone else. Yes, you can be inspired and motivated and encouraged by other people and the things that you do. But at the end of the day, the world needs you, who you are, how you operate, your special, unique gifts, right? The world needs the way you do it, because no one is created the exact same. Not even twins, right? No one is created the exact same. All right. So with all of this though, I want to mention that there will be people that rock with you heavy. Like yo, I feel that. I love that. I love that you're claiming your space. You're operating in your authentic self. I love that. And it inspires me to be me and do these things, to feel good in life and operate in a space of true joy, right? Like, that's important. And people will rock with you for that. But there'll be some people that just for whatever reason, they don't even like it, not even a little bit. Like, they won't. They might think you feel, I don't know. I don't think like they think. So I don't know exactly what it is that they're thinking when they feel some type of way about you being authentically you. But there are people out there. I mean, I guess my guess is because they're not being authentically them. They're a little jealous of you being just fully and wholly you, showing up as yourself. People don't like that, especially when they feel for whatever reason that they can't be themselves. That's not your problem. So don't take that on. Let them be them. You can't control how other people feel. You can control your actions though, and what you do. So you do that. Control your actions and what you do. And don't be apologizing for being you. Again, I must keep saying this because this is so important. I don't want people to get the wrong message here. It's not about being rude and saying, oh, that's just me. I'm being authentically me. No, that is not going to cut it. That's not what we're about here. But it's about being genuine, kind, just you, how you operate in the space. If you're feeling emotional, being emotional and all these different things. If you want certain things, like, again, rearrange the menus, whatever. If you want it, ask for it. Don't be afraid and don't be apologizing for asking for the stuff that you want in your life. You want it for a reason. You desire certain things for a reason. You feel certain ways for a reason. Don't apologize for that. Stop apologizing for that. I say it like that, right? Stop apologizing for being you. Please. Please, please, please. If you don't hear anything else, you want to just forget everything else I said, just hear this. Stop apologizing for being you. You matter. What you want matters. How you feel matters. Definitely in most situations, for sure. How you operate, how you choose to operate that works for you matters. For you, right? So stop apologizing for being authentically you. That's really the message today. Stop apologizing for taking up the space that you're designed to take up. If you weren't needed, and if your things and feelings and wants and everything didn't matter, like, you wouldn't be here. Like, truly, I truly believe that. We all have that right, your birthright, right? It's on you, though, to ensure that you're able to get what you want, have what you want to have, do what you need to do in a way that suits you. Because again, nobody cares like you would. Nobody want necessarily what you want. Even if you have like common values and goals, etc., with other people, it's not the way that it's been laid on you and the vision for that you have to get whatever that you desire. All right. So look, today, that's really all I wanted to say. That's it. Like that's the message for today. Truly been on my heart. I've been seeing it like every day, something where someone's apologizing just for being them. Like, no, you matter. Period. Stop apologizing. That's that's it. I feel it in my soul. If I could just grab you, like, listen, you matter. Stop apologizing. What you want matters. It's a big part of that. Look, okay. You all, please be sure to, if any of these episodes are blessing you, like, subscribe, comment, all of that. Leave those 5-star reviews so other people can, and also share the podcast with other people so that they can be able to be blessed by certain messages as well, whatever you feel will resonate with other people. If you think about it, if you come listen to an episode and you think about somebody like, oh, such and such should hear this, share this with such and such. Okay. Like, let them hear it. Let them get whatever they need to get out of it today. Oh, before we go though, just thought about it. Can't forget. I want something practical that you can do when you're operating in this space, right? This week, right? We got the rest of the week here. The rest of this week, and go just do it for a full week. When you feel a certain way or want a certain thing, and I just say it like this to make it just plain and simple. In those instances where you normally apologize for being you, don't do that. That's really it. Practice, right? It might take some time, but practice, truly practice on not apologizing for being you. This week, take that time in every situation. If you're not really sure in the situations that you act, or it might be a little more difficult for you in the moment to do it, I encourage you, take a sheet of paper, write down 3 to 5 things with 3 to 5 things or situations where you feel like, you know what, I'd be apologizing all the time here. And when those situations and things come up during the week, hey, remember, refer to that paper. Hey, stop apologizing for these particular things. Do that this week. That's something for you to take away. Now look, follow us on Instagram at Boundaries and More Podcasts, right? If you have questions, comment if you're watching this on YouTube, or send me a DM on Instagram at Boundaries and More Podcasts, and we get those questions answered. If you want to me to go deeper in certain things, on certain subjects, etc., we can do that if it makes sense here. Like, just, yeah, check out on Instagram. Thank you for listening to this episode. And if you're a repeat listener, thank you so much for being a repeat listener. Really, really appreciate it. I love seeing all the places all over the world that are actually listening to the podcast. And I feel it's really, truly making a difference. Again, I do this for y'all, and I will continue to do that. The things that I laid on my heart, bringing it here to the podcast, because for whatever reason, right, it's been put in my spirit, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just following that, being obedient with that. So you all, please be sure to have a beautiful rest of the week. Make today an amazing day, and be sure to tune in next week for more Boundaries and More with Jas Abraham. Talk to y'all then.